In today's video, I'm going to be doing the second part of my Python tutorial. Last episode, we talked about print statements and comments, which you can see right here, print hello world. And I'll actually give a short recap of what happened last time, if you forgot. So, last time, I was going to say what we're going to do in this video. We're going to be teaching you variables, which are basically like values that hold other things. So let me show you. First print. So just to recap the last time, comments are this. It's a hashtag, and usually if you write random nonsense, see, the Python won't like it, right? You got this thing, this CLL line, it's not gonna work. But if you put in a comment, it basically ignores it. The Python ignores that. You can also do, yeah. Now for other thing I do is printing, so just do print. This is how you would print hello world and print anything. You could print that, or you could also add things. Go like print hello world user, and now that should print hello world space user. Because I put a space here. Keep in mind, it doesn't add blank space. You just put a blank space. So just run that. But yeah, you should be able to do this also, because if you set everything up correctly with this code, last time she would press this one code and you see it does the same thing. But I usually just type it here, Python main.py, in my terminal, which if you want to make a new one, you can go up here and press new terminal. But now, let's ignore that for now. Now let's talk about variables. So there are a lot of type of variables in Python, but we're going to talk about some about the basic and most used ones. So first, we're going to talk about integers. So the way we get integers is really simple. You do x equals a number without a decimal point. It can be it can be negative, it could be -10, it just be number, right? And now, Python recognizes this as an integer, which is really cool, because in other languages, like C or Java or C++, you have to state what kind of type your variable is going to be. But this, it could be x, and then you can do x equals 20. Like, no, you could, variable like hello, and you could then make x equals another variable type, which is called a string, which is what you printed out. A string is any characters in quotation marks. So even if it's 10, it's gonna be considered a string because it's in quotation marks. Same thing with hello world. So, but you look, if I do, you can also print out variables, which I'll show you here. You could print x. Then I'm also gonna print x. Hello world, because x changes. Now, usually in language you can't do this. Without doing special keywords, you can't just change your variables by just saying equals string or equals integer, right? Well, Python's really cool and easy. You can. It's also a second variable I would like to. The third, I'd like to show you is called float. So integers are for integers are for whole values, but let's say you only want to float, like a decimal point. You'd want to do x equals, like, let's say I want to do 9.8, right? That would be a float or a double. but both work. The difference between floats and doubles is that doubles take up more memory, I believe. They take up more memory, but that's a little bit more advanced topic. You don't have to be worried about that because Python kind of manages your memory for you, so you don't have to be worried about that, actually. But, yeah, 9.8 facts. Now, if you put out X, you're going to see something, actually. Which you may not expect. Oh, yeah. But, let's say I were to, I don't know. Let's say I had, and I want to round that. I would have to use a special character in my printing out statement. I think it's .2f. If I'm correct, no. It's a special characters, but you may be wondering, special characters in printing statements, what is that? So now, I'm going to show you that. Print. Let's say print hello world, right? But this time I'm going to do hello. Ooh. This time I'm going to do hello world, right? Well, oh, oops. Let me just fix that. Cool. So with this, hello world. If you see, if I print it out, there's no space, keep that in mind. No, oh, huh? That's something new? I never seen that before. There should not be space here. That does not make sense. Did they change that? Huh? I guess now if you put a comma, it's automatically a space. That's a new thing. I know that. Wow, I didn't know that actually. So I'm surprised. Okay, knowing that, actually, so you could put a plus or a comma here. I usually use a comma because commas can work with other arrow types, but pluses at. So I'll show you that in a second. But right, hello world. So it's going to put my thing together. Well, space. But let's say I want on separate lines, but still want to say input in statement. I can do \n. Now I do \n. If you see, it's on different lines. Because \n is blank space, new line. There are a couple of other ones, like, I believe, if you wanted to print out a / just in general, you have to do it's double \, if I'm correct, yeah. Double / lets you print out a \, because if not, it's gonna think special character. Like, look, if I just did like, hello / hi, it's gonna think H is trying to be special character, like the \n. So try to run it. Other thing is the right thing. So it gives you an error. It does print out this, but it gives you an error with it, and you don't want that. So, because it thinks, oh, did you mean not to? Python interprets smart. So you get like a syntax warning, and that's not what you want, right? That's not at all what you want. So you get another one here, though. Save again. You get your hello / hi. Now let's talk about adding and printing out variables with strings or other types. So if I just did hello plus 10, I'd be trying to do hello 10, right? That didn't work, because plusing is trying to add these two things together. So in Python, you can't add different variables together. You can't add strings and integers or strings and floats together. Doesn't work. Same thing with strings and boolean, which actually real quick now. A boolean is another variable type that's really simple. It's just it either has one or two keywords, true or false. That's it. So with that, with true or false, you can compare things, which we'll talk about with if statements later in this course. Also, true is just one. So open equals 1 is the same thing as open equals true. Same thing with open equals 0. Same thing as, which is why in language like C you have to actually use this. But here we can just say true or false. It's kind of easy to read. So I recommend using true or false. Unless you need to use 1 and 0 for a certain reason. Now, how do you print out a string and another variable that won't add together? You have to use one of two ways. Either put a comma here instead, a comma here, because comma, which will work, can't be separated, so I'm putting both of them separately. Or you have to turn that into a integer. Now you may be wondering, how do I do that? Well, you do str, which stands for string, around 10. So basically it's going to convert 10 to a string. And you see it works now, because now 10 is basically considered 10, right? That's what's not considered. You can do the same thing with string, though. So let's get rid of this. So you can add integers, right, using the plus sign. So let's put in here 20. As you will see, this will not work. But if you do int around 20, you get 30. So basically, integer stands for integer, obviously, and you can use for anything. You can use for even like float. I think you can add. You actually add float to integers. You know, different. You can add float and see it'll add them up together. Even though 10 is integer, it knows to convert 10 into a float. Which is cool. So there's your main variable types. Let's make sure I didn't miss any. We got recap, integer, which is any whole number, string, which is any kind of letter, characters in you know. Oh, one thing I should probably mention, characters. So you don't really use characters much in Python, but you should know what they are. Char equals to, that's character. It's a single letter in two single quotes. Now, Python's cool. You can just use quotes for a string, and it'll work. So, in a lot of language, these is only meant for characters. These single quotes. It means this is a one-letter character. But not for this. It can be any string. It's recommended though that you use double quotes because two things. It makes it easy to read, right? Because it's not, and because it's also like easy to see what's a string, what's not. And if you go to another language, every other language, at least all the mainstream ones, use double quotes for the strings. So it's good habit to use double quotes. So when you go to another language, you won't be writing out your strings with single quotes and then have to go back and fix it. Yeah. So that's the basics of variable types and how to print them out. Next one, I'm going to be showing you how to add, subtract, divide, and multiply them together. Alright, see you next one. Bye.